Back again with another video, and there's just so much to unpack here. Went back and listened to that interview with Anthony Joshua that he did with Adam Smith of Sky Sports, and a lot of things he said in that interview are quite telling, and they're quite revealing. And you really have to ask yourself, where is Anthony Joshua's head at right now going into this rematch with Andy Ruiz? Adam Smith asked him about his performance in the first fight and if he was happy with it. And obviously, he wasn't going to answer that he was. But something else he said was very revealing when he answered that question. Anthony Joshua said that after the fight with Andy Ruiz, he asked himself if he was good enough. Basically, asked himself, word for word, this is his quote. These aren't my words. So if you guys want to start yelling at me, saying, I'm basically taking things out of context, taking little bits and pieces here. These are the things that Anthony Joshua said, not me. So don't yell at me. Don't attack me. If you don't like what Anthony Joshua said, take it up with him. But all I know is Adam Smith didn't ask him, "Hey, do you think you're good enough?" He openly revealed this himself, that he asked himself if he was good enough. So going into this rematch, Anthony Joshua is basically asking himself, do I have what it takes here? Am I good enough? And I don't ever remember any great heavyweight champion ever saying that to someone in public during an interview or at any time to the press. I don't remember Evander Holyfield ever saying that, Mike Tyson ever saying that, Riddick Bowe ever saying that, Lennox Lewis ever saying that, um, George Foreman ever saying that, Mike Tyson ever saying that, Muhammad Ali ever saying that, Joe Frazier. I never heard any great heavyweight champion or any heavyweight champion at all, for that matter, ever say to the public, "Am I good enough?" Because if you're asking yourself if you're good enough, then that means you don't believe whether or not fully that you belong at this level. And if you are questioning yourself going into the biggest fight of your life and asking yourself if you're good enough and you don't believe that you're good enough, and then you're also saying there's other quotes from him saying that he needs to get his passion back. Well, if you lost your passion for the sport of boxing and you don't know if you're good enough going into the biggest fight of your life, which is basically fighting for his life here. He's fighting for his career, because if he loses again, his career is pretty much over. It's just not going to be the same. He's not going to have that aura of invincibility. He's just not going to be what people perceived him to be, what people expected him to be. And these are just things that he's saying. I need. I'm trying to get my passion back, or I need to get my passion back. And he's asking himself whether he's good enough. And then he's also saying, well, maybe I need to reach out to George Foreman and talk to George Foreman. And then I heard he's got a sports psychologist, and he's got all these things. And I have nothing against sports psychologists. And people want to say, well, Carl Froch had one going into his rematch with Charles Groves. But yeah, but Carl Froch didn't get knocked out in the first fight. Hey, what's up, Jim? He didn't get knocked out in the first fight, and he didn't lose the first fight. And you have to ask yourself whether or not that sports psychologist really helped Carl Froch or not. But that's the thing. You have to question Joshua, his mindset going into this rematch. And not only that, so much is being made about where this fight is going to take place. And originally, Joshua said he wanted to go right back to New York and go back to the United States. But Eddie Hearn wasn't too keen on that. His team wasn't too keen on that. Eddie Hearn said himself, well, I think you have a better chance of winning the rematch if you fight it in the UK. I'm not sure. He doesn't believe. Seems as though he doesn't believe, or he's too confident that AJ can win unless the fight's in the UK. So that's why they're trying so hard to have the fight in the UK, because psychologically they think that that's a big boost for Joshua, and probably it is. So if this fight is anywhere else but the UK, then you're basically sending a message to Andrew Ruiz and the boxing fans that he can't win unless he fights in the UK. You're basically showing that you lack confidence in your fighter. And you have to ask yourself, why is Eddie Hearn and Joshua's team lacking confidence in their fighter? Why do they feel as though they need every conceivable advantage going into this rematch? Why does it have to be in the UK? Why are they concerned if it's in the United States? He got a fair shake in the United States. I mean, he got knocked down 4 times in the fight, and he was still up on the scorecards, or at least on one of the scorecards. What's up, Corey? So you have to ask yourself, if the guy, even fighting in the United States, had the advantage in terms of being the A side, having the advantage with the referee, with the judges. The referee gave him plenty of time to recover when he got hurt. Um, Basically asked him 15 times if he wanted to continue. He gave him every conceivable chance to go on. He probably could have stopped the fight earlier if he wanted to, but he just gave Joshua every bit of the benefit of the doubt. So you have to ask yourself, mentally, does he feel he can't win unless he fights in the UK? And because of the things he's saying, and because of because of his um, what he's portraying to the public, and what he's basically the way he's carrying himself after this loss, is that why Eddie Hearn and his team basically feel as though maybe they don't have confidence in him, that they have to have the fight in the UK? They need to get every conceivable advantage because they're concerned about him winning this rematch. If you really knew the guy was going to win the rematch, then you'd have no problem where the fight would be. And you openly admitted that there's more money if the fight's in the United States. So as a promoter, you're supposed to put on the biggest fights possible. You're supposed to put on the biggest events possible. And if the biggest event is fighting in New York, and you don't want to put it in New York because you're afraid your fighter's going to lose, then you don't have confidence in your man. You must you must be listening to the things that are coming out of his mouth. You must be looking at the way he's carrying himself, and the image he's portraying right now of a man who's not sure of himself, who's asking himself if he's good enough, who's telling people that he needs to get his passion back. If you don't know if you're good enough, you don't have your passion at this level, then you're in trouble. And I think Eddie Hearn sees all these things, and I think Joshua's team sees all these things. So they're trying hard to give him every conceivable advantage that they could give him, because they don't believe in their man. They don't believe in their man. There's no reason why the fight couldn't be back in the United States. Again, you were up on the scorecards after getting knocked down 4 times. It's not like you were going to get a raw deal over here. But we all know what happened to Oscar Rivas over in the UK. We all know that. We all know about the funny business that was going on over there. So Andy Ruiz has every reason to not want to go back to the UK. I don't blame him. I don't blame him one iota. So I don't know, man. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? What do you guys think is going on with AJ right now? Is he mentally ready for this rematch? Are the things that he's saying right now? And then if you looked at his body language, I was talking to Jason Shaw, aka legendary boxer, aka on Twitter, he's Al Heyman TV on Twitter, whatever. It's basically the PR guy for the PBC. I was talking to him. And basically, he was saying that when he was watching the interview, he's getting the same vibes. Like AJ just looked like he was shook, looked like something was wrong with him. You know, so uh, just tell them the truth, man. People don't want to hear the truth. We already knew, we already know that the UK people are gonna come on here and they're gonna just they're gonna just be in their cognitive dissonance state at the highest level. They're gonna just they're just so brainwashed. They just can't accept. Like if these are the words that are coming. Like I didn't say Joshua doesn't think he's good enough. I didn't say that. I didn't say Joshua needs to get his passion back. These are the things that are coming out of his mouth. I mean, you're just gonna get the truth here. Like Tyson Fury was off for 2 years. The guy was suicidal. He was on drugs. He was drinking heavily. He was 400 pounds. He was on the brink of destruction. But all those things going on with Tyson Fury and all the craziness going on in his head, in his mind, all the problems he was having with depression, did he ever once utter the words, "Am I good enough?" No, because he always knew deep down inside, talent wise, he was good enough. And that's the reason why in the 12th round, he was able to get up off the canvas after being virtually knocked out cold by Deontay Wilder. That's the difference between someone who believes in himself and someone who doesn't. Because we all know what happened to AJ when he was put in a similar situation. When he was knocked down and he got up, the body language suggested that he really didn't want to fight anymore. He looked like all night after he got hurt that he really didn't want to be there. That's correct. Fury was doing steroids and he was suspended for 2 years. For 2 years, yep, that's correct. The depression, I'm not going to say the depression was BS, but regardless, Fury was going to be out regardless. Like whether he stopped fighting, I mean, we already went over this. I mean, again, I just feel bad. It's just sad that you guys just, I don't know, you're just so you're just so blinded. I mean, we already went over this yesterday. I mean, we hit you with the truth here every day. I already said Fury's my favorite fighter. He's the best heavyweight in the world. I've been saying that since 2014, 2015. I already said that. But what I did say also was he's not the lineal champion because he retired. And if he didn't retire, he would have gotten stripped. And he would have got suspended for 2 years anyways. I already said all these things. I could tell the truth. AJ has the best resume in heavyweight boxing. No, he really doesn't. He really doesn't. And you can't bring your resume in the ring with you. Your resume doesn't fight. Your resume doesn't fight for you. You do the fighting. You can't go into the ring and with your smartphone and pull up your box rec and show it to the other fighter and say, "Hey, this is why I'm going to beat you." These are all things that don't matter once the lights turn on and you're under those lights and the gloves you're all gloved up and the bell rings. I mean, these things can't help you. I mean, Fury fought Wilder, fought Klitschko. Look what Fury did to Klitschko, and look what AJ. Look how AJ struggled with Klitschko. AJ almost lost that fight. You can't compare that. Like Fury's he's a much better fighter than Anthony Joshua. There's no way Anthony Joshua beats Tyson Fury. There's no way. I thought Fury beat Wilder. Beat him on my scorecard. Beat him on my scorecard. All I know is he didn't get knocked out by Andy Ruiz. Well, that's your argument. That's your opinion. Fury. Look what Fury did with Deontay Wilder. Everybody thought he won the fight. So So we already know. It's fine. But and Anthony Joshua got knocked out by Andrew Ruiz. What's worse? Would you rather have a draw against Deontay Wilder or a knockout loss against Andrew Ruiz, who was like a 20-1, who was a 20-1 underdog, and you lost to him? So I think Fury wins the rematch. Fury's the best fighter in the division by far. That's why that's why it disappoints me that he's fighting these guys that he's fighting. I tell the truth. I tell the truth. Ever since he signed that ESPN deal, I haven't been happy. And I wasn't happy when he signed it because I knew this was going to happen. I tell the truth. But he fought Deontay Wilder, and Anthony Joshua didn't. Name one fighter on Anthony Joshua's resume who's better than Vladimir Klitschko and who's better than Deontay Wilder. He can't. You can argue that the only name that Joshua has on his resume is Klitschko, and that was an old Klitschko that was offered 2.5 years and who was way past his prime. I mean, we can pick these resumes apart all we want. At the end of the day, again, you can't take the smartphone with you in the ring, pull up your resume and go, here, I'm going to fight you with my resume tonight. That's not what the sport's about, baby. Anthony Joshua had a better resume than Andrew Ruiz. He got knocked out by him. How does his resume help him? You really can't debate me. Like, I'm just too good for you. I'm like, there's levels to this, and you're debating me like with preschool skills right now. It's laughable. It's laughable. I mean, you know the truth. Fury's better than AJ. You know that. Come on. I don't have to tell you that. You know that. We don't have to pretend. We don't have to pretend. Let's take the personal feelings out of it. I know you love AJ. I know that you have a man crush on him. I understand that. It's fine. It's fine that you're attracted to the guy. I don't have a problem with that. If that floats your boat, that floats your boat. Okay, he beat White, who who hasn't looked great against Oscar Rivas, who was almost got knocked out by like Fury and Wilder would destroy Dillian White. They would destroy Dillian White. No, I don't think you believe that. I mean, you're basically speaking right now with your heart, not your head. You know, White barely beat friggin' Rivas. I thought he lost to Rivas, and Parker almost knocked him out. There's no way AJ's beating Tyson. There's no way. He can't handle. He can't even beat Ruiz. Joseph Parker is a good fighter. I mean, I thought Ruiz beat him, and to be perfectly honest with you, I thought AJ beat him too. I thought AJ beat Parker, but I scored the fight like 116 and 112. Like it was a close fight. You could argue it was 115 and 113. Like AJ didn't look great in that fight either. So Fury would box friggin' Joshua's ears off. Everybody knows that. Anyone with a brain knows that Fury would box Joshua's ears off. Anyone knows that. Anyone that's not emotionally attached. This is a man. You're mad. They're mad at me. Everyone's mad at me. I set the fly trap right now. Because as soon as I make a video, all the UK guys are gonna jump on here. They're gonna jump on here, and I already know what they're gonna do. This is like me. I'm a coke dealer on the corner. All I gotta do is put Joshua in the title, and these guys are gonna flock to me. They want to hit. They want to hit of that good shit that Beeb's giving them. They want that. Beeb, I'm in control right now. As soon as all I gotta do is put Joshua in the title, and you guys get triggered, man. That's like your kryptonite. All I gotta do is put Joshua and say something critical about Joshua, and you guys will run. Like many people make videos about fighters that I like, and they criticize them. I don't even really care. I don't leave comments. I don't defend. I don't have to see. I believe in the fighters that I like. I believe in. I don't have to defend them. Their skills speak for themselves. Like, it doesn't bother me if someone says Fury sucks. I don't care. I know what I see. Not you, Benji. I didn't tell you had a crush on Tyson. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, Igloo said you did. Okay. Yeah, he's trying to use what I said. I mean, just because he's got a man crush. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Ben. You and I are just calling it like we see it. I mean, we know skills when we see skills. And this guy just wants to, he's got a man crush on Joshua. Like, he's attracted to the guy. I don't know. This is a guy that doesn't even believe in himself. Doesn't know how good he is. Doesn't know if he has the passion to fight anymore. When has Tyson Fury ever said that? When's Deontay Wilder ever said that? Ask yourself this question. Put Anthony Joshua in the 12th round in the same situation Tyson Fury was in. Ask yourself one question. Does he get up? Number one. And number two, if he does get up, does he continue? All you got to do is look at the Ruiz fight, and that question's answered for you guys. That's it. That's no shade. I have nothing against Joshua. All I'm doing is quoting him. I'm quoting him. And if you have a problem with the quote, then you need to go talk to Joshua. Go on his Twitter, go on his Instagram. You need to question him. Don't question me. Don't be slandering. Why would I slander Crawford, Pete? Why would I say anything bad about Crawford? I'm confused with that one. I'm cool with AJ. Just don't be slandering Crawford, Pete. Beeb doubting AJ is like, nah. I don't know what you guys like to conflate things. Like you guys bring things up that like I'll be talking about, hey, it's today's a nice day out. And then you guys will just change the subject. Milk went up 25 cents. Like it has nothing. You guys just like, well, I don't understand what that comparison even means. Beeb doubting AJ. Like I'm not doubting. AJ is doubting himself. He said it. I mean, I don't understand. Like if someone says something, you hear it out of the guy's mouth. How can you not like? How can you not believe it if he said it? Like AJ said these things, not me. Like I'm not. I'm not doing anything. I'm not taking it out of context. I'm not flipping the word. I mean, these are the things he said word for word. Go back and watch the video. Go back and watch the video. The guy said, I need to get my motivation back. That's his quote. I didn't say that. Not me. And you're mad at me for saying that, for quoting him. Like this bottle right here, this is burgundy, right? If I tell you this is burgundy, it's burgundy. You don't like the fact that I'm telling you it's burgundy. Don't get mad at me. Call up Fruit 2.0 and ask him, hey, why did you make this label burgundy? I'm just telling you it's burgundy. Like you can't get mad. I didn't make the bottle. I didn't make the label. Why would you get mad at me? You can't get mad at me. What I do? I just have the bottle. I mean, it's not my bottle. I bought it. I mean, I didn't make this. You can't be mad at me. You're mad at me. You're mad at me because of something someone else said. Like, why would you get mad at me? You are mad. You're angry. Why can't you accept like I'm saying something that the guy said and you're arguing with me about what the guy said? Like you're like let me ask you a question. You go on a job interview, right? I'm gonna drop two gems for you guys right here. You go on a job interview, right? And you're nervous. You really want the job, but you're going into the guy's office who you're interviewing with, and you're saying to yourself, I don't know if this guy's gonna hire me. I don't know if this guy's gonna think I'm the man for the job. I'm nervous. I'm doubting myself. I'm doubting whether or not I'm going to get this job. Now, I want this job really bad. And when I go in there, I'm going to try and sell myself so I can get this job. But I'm not 100% sure I'm going to get this job. So when you go into the interview and the guy's interviewing you, do you tell the guy, hey, I don't know if you think I'm good enough to have this job. I'm concerned whether or not you're going to hire me or not. Would you, even though you're thinking those things, would you tell the guy who's interviewing you that? Would you want him? The only way you would want him to know that is if you really didn't want the job. You would keep that shit to yourself, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you keep that shit to yourself? We all doubt ourselves. There's no question about that. We all go to bed at night thinking to ourselves, can I do this? What I should have done that? What if I was this? What if I was that? We all second guess ourselves, right? But there's a time and a place to talk about it. Okay? You don't show the other side your weaknesses. Like that. There's a scene in the movie Godfather. Okay? You have Sonny and you have Vito the father. Sonny's the son. And they're in there with a meeting. You have Tom Hagen in there. You have the whole Corleone family in there, basically, right? And there's a guy from another family, Salazzo. He was with the Tattaglia family, okay? He's trying to pitch a deal to Vito, right? The Godfather. He's trying to pitch him a deal, right? And he's trying to pitch Vito a deal, and then he says, "Oh, we can guarantee you protection. Don't worry about that," because Vito's concerned about if he accepts this deal, how's he going to be able to do what needs to be done and not get in trouble with the police. And then Salazzo's trying to ensure him that, no, I got everything covered. And then Sonny blurts out, "Well, how can you guarantee us this?" And then Vito says, "I apologize for my children. They get a little anxious. And sometimes I spoil them and I let them talk when I shouldn't." So to make a long story short, after the meeting's over, Vito looks over to Sonny and says to Sonny, "Never let anyone outside the family know what you're thinking." Think about that. It's the same thing as never let the enemy know what you're thinking. Never let anyone outside the family know what you're thinking. That goes the same in anything in life. Okay? You never ever let your enemy know what you're thinking. If you're entering a competition and you're doubting yourself, you never let your opponent know that. If you have an injury going into a fight, you never tell anybody you have that injury, because why? You're exposing your weakness. Joshua broke the cardinal rule, and he continues to break the cardinal rule. And everyone's like, "Oh, well, he's just telling the truth. He's just being real." It's not smart. You never show the enemy or tell the enemy what you're thinking inside. That's like a football team giving the other team their playbook. Might as well just, he's basically giving his playbook away. He's telling Andrew Ruiz that he's mentally compromised going into this rematch. Okay? That's only going to give Andrew Ruiz more confidence. It's going to make him fight better. Okay? Many times fighters have problems going into the ring. Hey, Bernard Hopkins used to talk about it all the time. No one's ever right when they're going into the ring. Could be going through a divorce. You could be having problems with your girlfriend. You could be at a custody battle with your wife over anything could be going on. You get hurt. You could be nursing an injury. You keep that shit to yourself. I know you guys, well, Joshua puts all his cards up on the table. That's it. Some things are better left to be unsaid. Some things are better left to be unsaid. I ain't rewriting shit, man. This is shit everybody should know, man. This is shit everybody. Once again, didn't Kyle Froch go in with a head shrink? with George Gross. I already explained this at the beginning of the video. You guys are really bad with examples. Did Cal Froch lose the first fight to George Gross? Did he get knocked out in the first fight with George Gross? So how can you compare Cal Froch's situation to Anthony Joshua's situation? Ask yourself that. How could you compare them? You guys conflate things that just should not be compared. I mean, I'll be talking about, like again, hey, this is a beautiful orange. Yeah, but that apple's nice too. Like, we're not talking about the apple, we're talking about the orange. Like, you guys gotta just stay focused when we talk here, man. I mean, guys gotta get better. These guys gotta get better, man. Guys gotta work on it, man. Gotta work on that shit. Gotta work on that shit. Kyle Froch did not get knocked out in the first fight. Let's go over it again. We'll say it's low. All right. Once again, for the Johnny Come Latelys. Kyle Froch did not lose to George Groves, nor did he get knocked out to George Groves. So trying to compare his situation to AJ's situation is totally different. Just like you guys who are trying to compare the Hasim Rahman situation with Lennox Lewis to this situation with Andy Ruiz and Anthony Joshua. It's not the same thing because Andy Ruiz did not say he would not fight the rematch. He didn't say that. He never said he was not willing to fight Anthony Joshua in the rematch. That's not what he said. He didn't say that. He did not say he was not willing to fight Anthony Joshua in the rematch. Hasim Rahman tried to get out of the fight altogether entirely. So it's a bad comparison, Benji. I mean, let's just let it go, bro. I already told you why it was a bad comparison. There's nothing you can say to change that, bro. He didn't get knocked out. He didn't lose. He won the first fight. Just accept it, man. There's no way. There's no need to revisit it, bro. No need to revisit it. Okay, so I mean that's just the way it is, guys. I mean, you could try to spin it any way you want to spin it. So it's hard to stay undefeated if you fight real fighters like AJ does. What like explain what you just said. He lost to a 20-1 underdog, and he got knocked out. He didn't just lose; he got knocked out. I'm explain your point. I mean, I don't know. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way AJ beats Fury. I mean, it is what it is, man. I mean, you just gotta accept. Just gotta accept it for what it is, bro. He's not. He's not gonna beat Fury. He's just not gonna do it. He's not gonna beat him. I mean, AJ is who he is, man. Is he a bad fighter? No. I mean, he's overrated. I mean, when you put somebody on such a high level, and they're not at that level you put them at, maybe they're not as good as you thought they were. Doesn't mean they're not good. They're just not as good as you thought they were. A lot of you guys overrated AJ. Odds don't exactly reflect the possibility of one fighter. Yeah, they do. They kind of do. They kind of do. That's why underdogs only win very like if they don't reflect, then underdogs would win all the time. All you got to do is look in the history of the sport of boxing. Odds are odds because they're a reflection of public perception of the fight, number one, and number two, fighters are just better than other fighters. Yeah, they are. They are a reflection. They do reflect. Yeah, they do. Andrew Ruiz was a 20-1 underdog. And if you find me, how many people picked Andrew Ruiz before the fight? Odds are a reflection of the fight. They are. Okay, did you bet on Andrew Ruiz or Omar Rodriguez? Did you bet on him? Would you have bet him? So your point is irrelevant, bro. Point's irrelevant. We can't go back and Monday morning quarterback. Can't go back and Monday morning quarterback. Nobody picked Andrew Ruiz to win that fight. So the odds were an accurate description of what people thought of the fight. You're not pointing anything out. I mean, you're wrong in the point you made. Odds are a reflection of the fight. You didn't think he was going to win. Odds are a reflection of the fight. All you got to do, go down the list, go on 5 Dimes right now. Look at the odds. And when a guy's a plus 1,500 or a plus 2,000 or a plus 2,000, go look and tell me how many times that guy wins. So that's that. I mean, all you got to do is look at all the favorites and then look at all the underdogs. How many underdogs win? They're underdogs for a reason because they're not expected to win. They are odds are a reflection. Yeah, but it doesn't matter. If someone's a 21 underdog, if someone's a 20-1 underdog and they get bet down to an 18-1 underdog, they're still a long shot either way. It doesn't matter. Like you I don't know why you're don't just try to disagree with me just for the sake of disagreeing with me. If you're wrong, you're wrong. You're just making a point that is wrong. 20-1 and 15-1 underdogs don't win often. It's a rarity. It's very rare when something like this happens. This is being compared to Buster Douglas versus Mike Tyson. That fight happened in 1990. Fight happened 40 years ago, bro. You got to go back. Lennox Lewis versus Hasim Rahman. That was 19 years ago. So again, once every 20 years it happens, bro. Once every 10 years it happens, bro. I mean, that's not a reflection of the odds. Guys, 20-1 underdog. Last time something like this happened was 20 years ago. It's pretty much an accurate description of the fight. I don't know. Just quit. Just stop. It just doesn't make sense. I don't want you to keep going on and on because you're not really making sense, bro. And I'm not trying to be mean to you, but you're just not making sense. Your statement was incorrect, and that's just the end of it. We're not gonna belabor the point. In MMA, you see upsets all the time. No, you really don't. No, you don't. Like what? Like 2-1, 3-1. You don't. Very rarely does a guy who's a plus 1,500 or a plus 2,000 win a fight. Doesn't happen, bro. It's very rare. Can't. I mean, we you can't. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Shouldn't have been 5 or 10-1. Shouldn't have. Shouldn't have been 5 or 10-1. Because the last time something like this happened was 20 years ago, bro. This is an accurate description of like Tyson Fury when he beat Klitschko. He was only like a 4-1 underdog, 3.5-1 underdog. It's different. Last time something like this happened was when Rockman beat Lewis. That was 20 years ago. You have no way of knowing what a fight should be and what it shouldn't be. 20-1 is about right. Pascal was a huge upset, correct. He was like a 15-1 underdog. I didn't see that coming. That was crazy. That was fucking crazy. I agree. I agree 100%. That was nuts. Igloo, you went there? Yeah, but Cancio again was not a minus 2,000 against Machado. It just wasn't. You're not making you guys. It's just not. It's not good. It's just not good comparisons, bro. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Cancio beating Machado was not as big of an upset as Ruiz beating Joshua. It just wasn't the same. It wasn't the same thing, guys. Don't just try to disagree for the sake of disagreeing. Don't be a contrarian. You don't have to disagree. Just you can agree. It's not bad to agree. I mean, don't try to just go against the grain just because you want to go against the grain. I mean, that's the thing. I'd do it. I would do it. If he paid me, I would do it. Why not? I'm not saying AJ can't even win the rematch. I mean, who knows what Ruiz is going to be like going into the rematch? Is he going to have the busted Douglas? Yeah, but you're pointing out something that's wrong. Your point is wrong. Your point is wrong. That's all I'm saying. It's wrong. The odds were accurate in that fight. You can't say you're trying to say that it should have been a 5-1 or 10-1 now after the fight happened. Unless you say that before the fight starts, then your point's irrelevant. You know, point's irrelevant. You can't Monday morning quarterback. That fight was not bet down to a 10-1. It wasn't bet down to a 5-1 because again, nobody believed that Ruiz could win. Guys, give me some super chats here. This is like the second day in a row doing a show, man. All these other channels, they get all these super chats from everybody. Show some love to Ringside Reporter Live, guys. Come on, show us some love, baby. Smash that like button. That's right, Nelson. Smash that like button. I know it's just like too much money on a quarterbacking, bro. Oh, I told you this was gonna happen. No, you didn't. You waited till after the fight to tell me. I mean, I don't know what it is like. Like, why is everyone so afraid to be wrong, man? Why is everyone so afraid to be wrong? I just don't get it, bro. I don't get it. Like, no shame in being wrong. When you can be right, that's come on, man. Come on, man. Which fight do you think was a bigger upset, Pascal versus Brown or Ruiz? Uh, you answer that question. Of course, Ruiz AJ was a bigger upset. That was the biggest upset in the last 20 years, dude. People are comparing this to Rockman versus Lewis. That fight happened in 2000, 2001, like 19, 20 years ago, bro. Of course, this was the biggest. This is like the biggest upset of the decade. Thank you, Igloo. Beav is the man. I don't know what discussion we're trying to have here. I truly don't understand your argument. That's all I'm saying. I just don't understand your argument. Thank you, Omar. Appreciate that. Yep. So let's cut to the chase here, man. Who do you guys like in the rematch, AJ or Ruiz? I'll be honest with you. I'm having a hard time with it. I'm going back and forth with it. Yesterday, I was kind of favoring AJ. Now I just don't know where its head's at, man. I don't know where its head's at. And if his team is so concerned about the fight being in the UK, man, then I don't know, man. I don't know what to say. Am I wrong to think that the AJ Ruiz rematch may not happen? I really don't think AJ is keen on taking the fight based on his body language. I was saying that like a week ago. Like, is this fight really going to happen? I mean, let's be honest. He just did, he looked like a very conflicted man during that interview. He really did. He really did. What do I need to fight? Well, people are telling me the fight's going to be in Saudi Arabia. I don't know if it's going to be in Saudi Arabia. I don't even believe. I'm not sure if I believe that. I don't believe that. Scanceran says Ruiz. He's picking Ruiz. He said AJ did nothing in the first fight that leads me to believe that he can win the rematch. I know, given quality. I know. I tried to tell him. No disrespect to my man Eric too. I when we had this discussion about Fury signing to ESPN. I told him this shit was going to happen, and this is coming from a huge Fury fan. But I tell the truth, man. I don't think the fight's going to be in Saudi Arabia either because from what I hear, Saudi Arabia doesn't even pay the fighters, man. It's a bunch of shit. AJ dropped him saying he did nothing. Okay, oh, he dropped him. What else did he do? After that, what else did he do? He only that's probably he only won one round on my scorecard. What else did he do? Yeah, I mean, let's see if this and plus with all the controversy that's going on in Saudi Arabia killed that American reporter and shit. It's like, who the fuck wants to go to Saudi Arabia, man? No disrespect. I'm just being honest. Fuck wants to do that. He slept on Ruiz, period. A lot of people did. Ruiz can move. Ruiz can move and throw combos, unlike most of his class and build. Yeah. I, if I was to guess, I got a feeling this fight's going to be in Vegas. They say it's going to be in a neutral site. I don't know, man. I have a feeling. Eddie Hearn is ridiculous, man. Like, why would you not put the fight back in America? That like the fight is huge in America, money wise. It's fucking huge. Why would you not want that? Let's get some super chats going, guys. Come on, don't be cheap. Everyone just chips. Oh, thank you, Nelson. Appreciate that. As soon as I say it, Nelson kicks in. I appreciate it, brother. Salute, sir. Oh, Oblong, LOL. AJ gives up his height and has poor stamina. He also doesn't seem to know how to effectively tie up. I got Ruiz in 9 rounds. Awesome. Thank you, Nelson. Do I favor AJ? think Wilder. I think Wilder beats them both. I think Wilder beats them both. Hearn wants to fix the outcome. That's why you don't want US. Yeah, we'll see. See what happens. Let's do it in Barbados. Hearn is a fucking snake, says Sogo. I just don't understand how these UK guys get behind Hearn so much. Like he's a slimy dude, man. He's a slimy dude, man. I just don't get how these guys like all these guys love him and shit. I just don't get it, man. I'll never figure that out, man. Like why all these guys like love fucking Eddie Hearn so much. Thank you, Scant Rants. Appreciate that. Keep them coming, guys, baby. Keep them coming. Yo, it's been slow, man. I mean, I'm looking forward to the Spence Porter fight in September, man. That's gonna be a fucking barn burner, bro. I can't wait for that. Beeb, side question. Had a discussion at the gym the other day. Can fighter A outbox fighter B but lose the jab battle? Um, I'm sure it's possible, but I think the way it could happen is if you're fighting a counter puncher and you're throwing a lot of jabs to try to get in, and what's happening is the guy's like walking right into your right hand, and you're actually after you land your right hand, you're following up a left hook or whatever. Yeah, because one example of that, I'm gonna give you a perfect example of that. In both fights, and I don't need punch stats to tell me this. I could just tell this by observing. Go back and watch both Golovkin versus Canelo fights. Canelo definitely was losing the jab battle because what was happening in those fights were Golovkin was throwing a lot of jabs, but not as many power shots as Canelo. And what was happening was Canelo was landing a lot of counter punches on Triple G, particularly in the first fight, and even in the second fight, even though he was more aggressive, he was still throwing less jabs. And Triple G had a beautiful jab in both fights, and you can clearly see that he was out jabbing Canelo, but he couldn't get a victory, even though he was out jabbing Canelo. So it can happen, but I would venture to say, Omar, that it is rare. But next time you talk to that person, just tell them what I just told you. Look at the Canelo Golovkin fight. Because Canelo wasn't throwing a lot of jabs. It doesn't throw a lot of jabs at all. Period. Look at the Jacobs fight. To answer your question is yes, yes. He can outbox a fighter and lose the jab battle because Canelo lost the jab battle in both fights with Golovkin, and he got a draw and a win. So yes, thank you, Ohio Runs Boxing. Appreciate that. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate that. You guys are awesome. Triple G just doesn't do enough damage for Canelo. Yeah. I mean, the one thing about Triple G when he fights Canelo is he just doesn't seem to be able to land as many power shots as he does against other fighters. And we got to give Canelo credit because Canelo is a fabulous, fabulous, fabulous counterpuncher. He's a real good counterpuncher, Canelo. We can't take that away from him. He's an awesome counterpuncher. He's a fucking awesome counterpuncher, man. Got to give him credit for that. Yep. Yeah, Ricky, you're gonna have to wait till it's over, bro. Have to wait till it's over. Yeah, he seems to be careful against Canelo, but once again, that's because of the counterpunching. That's because of the counterpunching. All right, guys, I'm gonna have to head out of here. I got some things I gotta take care of, but once again, thank you all for joining us, and thank you for the super chats, and continue to support the channel. Skype, I'm gonna be starting my Skype pretty soon. Probably the next video I do, I think I'm gonna invite people to Skype in because I have the mixer now, and I think I should have no problems using the Skype now. So I think will be great. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for the super chats and continue to support the channel. Continue to like the videos. Continue to share the videos and tell a friend to tell a friend to subscribe and be a regular viewer of this channel. I appreciate it so much and thank you once again. I'll answer this one last question. Do I think Canelo might leave De La Hoya after what went down and go to Al Heyman? Be honest with you, it's totally possible. Totally possible that that could happen. Who in their wildest dreams would have ever thought that Manny Pacquiao would end up being an Al Heyman fighter one day? And lo and behold, after everyone told him for years to leave Arum, he finally does it. So yeah, I would not be surprised if he did leave De La Hoya and go somewhere else. That is totally possible. All right, guys, peace out. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Talk to y'all soon, and we'll catch you next time. Peace.